You are here for one of two reasons. Either my thumbnail worked, or you want to verify I didn't cheat in my prior video where I speedran Celeste in under 50 minutes with only 10 attempts. Either way, I'm glad to have you here, and I'm excited to share the behind the scenes footage of how my final attempt went. So let's get into it. Starting with the intro section of the run, where I honestly didn't have all that many issues. Early on I did, where I just kind of made dumb mistakes, especially right here where you're in a straight stretch, you're like, oh, I just gotta jump, gain a little bit of speed, and then I fell in that hole there. But didn't do it this time, so it kind of just panned out, and you really shouldn't mess up there. And from here we go into chapter 1. Another section that ended up not being all too difficult, because you're learning the basics, and whenever you're getting faster, you just kind of need to dash, try to wall kick as much as you can, and the more dashing you do, the faster you go. Right here, yeah, I kind of messed it up a few times, and then you gotta make sure you dash down and then up, is kind of what I do, but kind of hard to explain whenever it's going so fast. Well, I'm not really fast, but fast enough. And then of course coming up is going to be the wave dash portions, and those were really fun to learn, and I don't think I fully got them all the way down, but I think there's a lot of potential if I do visit speedrunning again. And then yes, right here, wave dash, and oh, I've messed it up there, I forgot about that, but we got the second try, and that's all that mattered. Just a few jumps here. Then we're getting ready for our next wave dash in the next room, and you can also do an extended super here, which I did a few times, but the wave dash kind of just go off feel. And then now we're nearing the ending portion of the chapter, and the final room is kind of interesting because there is a faster way to do it, and I did try to learn it, but ultimately I just don't have the wall kick capabilities, because there's a way to restore your energy. So in theory, I would just jump straight up in the left wall. I would take that instead of jumping over to the right. And I just wasn't able to restore my dash to be able to do that. But this was fast enough, and I got the time below the 50-minute time. Or at least my goal for that chapter. Then chapter 2, I think I was actually slower than I was meant to be, but all my other chapters were faster, so it just kind of worked out where I could be slower on this one, even though I really never felt slow on it. But somewhere I was meant to make up time. This room here I messed up. I don't recall if I did, or no, it's the next room I messed up on. For some reason here I just get caught up and go too fast. I think I missed that wall there. And then this is fine, you just dash straight over, get the cutscene, go up, and then you're just out. And then here I'm also doing something kind of subtle. Whenever you dash through blocks and you hit the jump button, you get a little bit of a boost to make you go out faster. So that's something you learn in a B or a C side. And then another thing I didn't cover in the video is that whenever I do die, if you hit C to confirm, it actually saves like a half a second, because it takes maybe about a second to load, and that's just wasted time. So if you die 50 times, you waste almost a minute just in load screens. So I saved some time with that also. I do remember battling giving me a little bit of struggle. There's definitely faster routes I could do, but kind of just made it work since my goal was not crazy ambitious. Oh, so you can see how fast that load screen kind of went, where it does fade to black, but it's not held there long. If I didn't confirm, then it would have sat there for a noticeable amount of time. And I believe it's the room after this one that I really enjoyed learning the strategy, where you just kind of skirt under the block. So you're meant to touch that block, the blue one, have it fall down, and then stand on it. but you just skirt under it and then it works. And then this room right here, this skip, I wasn't doing until the last run. And I just saw it in a video. It's like, oh, that path right there, I did not know existed. And then this part's also a little bit tricky if you don't know a route and you just get messed up and battling catches you real easily. Then we got the supers at the end where you just, I think you do a down dash which I have bound to S, and then you jump. And then you get a little bit of height, so that little ledge is perfect. And the thing about super dash is it gives you a lot of speed in the horizontal, but it gives you basically no vertical. So unless it's like more than the 1 block ledges, then you're not gonna get tall enough and you get caught up. So I'm definitely not as clean as I could be here because the springs in this room, it was annoying seeing how many of them I caught because they make you go decently slower. But this is pretty clean. I like that. And then that is chapter 2 all finished. 259, yeah, that's definitely slower. I don't remember, but I feel like 240 was my goal for it. But we don't have to worry about that because chapter 3, even though it was the hardest to learn, in my opinion, it was the most rewarding at the end, and I think I know it the best. Oh, missed that trampoline there a little bit. That could have been bad. And then there's also this screen juggling where you restore your dash and you get it restored so you can gain height and then not have to do the obstacles. This room here was also fun. I had to really learn the death cycle in case I messed up. As you can see right there. And then I went back here to not do the death cycle because the first cycle is just so much faster, but clearly I messed up twice and I just went for playing 3 times. Yikes. Do not remember that. I also did this run back in March, so it's August now, so about 5 months. So I'm not surprised I don't remember this. And I do intend on putting this on speedrun.com to get it officially verified, but I do have a faster run. Now I'm trying to think of the best way to go about making a video on that. Oh, the super here. Oh no, that I actually did wave dash. Bridging that jump was a lot of fun. Because kind of like I said, I glossed over it, but adding supers everywhere on the fly, you can kind of see it in this video if you look out for the supers. If you see me dash or crouch and then get launched, that's a super. This room definitely can do it faster, but it saves like a second, and in the grand scheme of things I could save time elsewhere. That was a super right there. And then I always talked about the dust bunnies on chapter 3, but it was really these platforms here that were kind of annoying because kind of like the battle and fight, you can't backtrack on yourself, so then you just have to be confident with your movements because you can't physically backtrack or you just perish. Then here, yes, these came a lot more easily and I got stuck there way too often. Then here is just trying to go fast with all the ledges that just catch you and make you go slower. So you feel like you're going fast, but in reality, I feel like there's something I could do to try to glide through them easier. And then one thing on this section is there's 3 different rooms you have to go into, and there's a certain order that's a little bit better. So you can see how there's the purple towels, the green books in the bottom left corner, and then I think the crates are also an obstacle. So you're helping O'Shriver clean up his resort, and as you do that, the obstacles, or in this case platforms, disappear and make the rooms harder or easier. So I got these from that tutorial video from Average Imposter, I think. And he was a huge help with the videos he made. And then we get our crate, we clean up the crates, and we are on the Tactile Shower again to check in on Sandy, which of course is rapidly depleting, and we skip it because we don't care that much. And yeah, I guess in general chapter, ooh, this room right here, yeah, that was clean. I have these blips and moments where it's just like, oh yeah, I did good here, but then the other one's like, yeah, I'm just kind of going slow and safe. Yeah, super there, super there. Those always feel good. And then I think we're near the end. And then this final one, this room is probably my favorite. Not this next one, but the one we're about to go into, because you can just do it so quickly, even though the first time you go through is so hard. It's just super, super gone. And it looks, oh, and I tried to do it here also, but oh, yeah, I had a plan there, but clearly it didn't work, but worked good enough on the last try. So I got a few deaths. I think I ended with 51 on my final run. And ultimately it either paid off or it didn't. I think so far it's, for the new viewers, you don't really know if I got a sub 50 or not. So you will find out if I succeeded or not. And then now that everything is cleaned up, we are ready to grab the key and get out of here, or at least we think that's what we're doing. Ultimately, Oshira is gonna have other plans. This chimney section sometimes got a little sketchy with, I don't really know why. I think it's just, you just do something differently, then it's like, oh shoot, I have to think about how I'm actually dashing now. Then these rooms, like, they're long and punishing if you mess them up, but honestly, I don't think I messed them up past like my 6th attempt, and they just kind of worked. This one's real nice. You just, as long as you move fast enough, you don't have to worry about that one catch you right there. We skip Oshira, he summons the wall, then we get ready for Dust Bunny skip. So yeah, like I said, fists lined up, dash through, then we're good. Dust Bunny skip, ultimately, it was hard to learn, but that's honestly what I just love about speedrunning, where it's hard at first and you don't really think you can do it, and then it just finally starts working bit by bit, and then you keep getting further incrementally and you finally get there. Kind of like this entire rooftop section, because I don't know why I cursed myself to train it until I could do it deathless, but it paid off, especially with this room, because it just seems like the rule of thumb is if you can do a room faster, then there's less time for you to make a mistake. And I think right here I got tripped up. Yeah, I got tripped up, I summoned red things, and then I dodged over them and got lucky. And then this one right here is kind of tricky, where it's almost better to fail your first time, because Oshira sets them up perfectly on the respawn cycle, where you can use this head to jump off of, which I did show a few times in the video. And of course the final room, I got this one really clean. I'm actually impressed with how good I did here, because this one was rough for most of my attempts. But awesome. Ooh, and that was really close there. I remember seeing that while editing. It's like, ooh, he could have really messed things up there and wasted a lot of time. But he didn't. 724 on there was a good time. And 7 deaths isn't really all that bad. Chapter 4 isn't too bad of a chapter. It's short, sweet. Snowballs are the worst aspect, and honestly, they're not even that bad. You can see them coming from a mile away and adapt accordingly. Fast bubbles, I think I showed them decently in the video, to where you kind of saw the difference. Basically all you do is while you're in the bubble, you dash. So you dash into it, hit the dash button again, and then you get a fast bubble. So you hit dash twice for each bubble. So right here, you can really see it add up, and why I tried to use that as the example, and it just looks satisfying. Oop, almost went too far there, but we are all right. I took this room a little bit differently every now and then, so I don't really know the optimal strat, but everybody has their own goals. Then here, you have to do a down dash to barely gloss over to that key to unlock. It's kind of hard to explain. You have to down dash to reduce your hitbox to get the mark so you don't have to jump over it. It's hard, yeah. Hard to explain, but that's the best I can. Down dashing and decreasing your hitbox is kind of like the key element of where it's used. Then coming up is the room that I skipped most of. I think it is. Oh no, that's later on. Yeah, these blocks here definitely are a huge time waste, and I know if I want to go for a faster time, there's ways to just not have to use them, but those are scary strats that I don't quite know the best. Then of course, wind's also introduced here. I think it only shows up again in the final section. Oh, and then I lost my dash. I had to go back up there to get the dash because I messed it up with the wind pushing me too far back. So I do have mistakes here and there, but I ultimately rebounded most of the time. Not there though. That's hard to rebound from. I don't even think I messed up in this room that much. Yeah, it's just weird where you get mistakes in some runs and others. Like, I've never messed up there in my life, but now today's our time to mess up. And then here's the room. Yeah, so instead of using those blocks, so the one on the left goes up and they have one that goes down, so just skip those two, use the wall and some dashes, and you're through. So that's a decent time save. Oh no, I died. Okay, I got too bold with my climbs and lost my stamina. Here's another room where basically I don't think you need that block if you're good at the game, but I have to wait for it there, so that's wasted time. Lots of time save opportunity. The wind stops, kind of an annoying move on its part. Almost didn't make that ledge there. And here, I think I actually make it. So there's two routes you can go. If you accidentally mess up, the wind kind of takes you into a secret passage that is a longer way around. I've done that a few times just because I messed up the move, and it's like, I'm not going back to that room. This one was really difficult learning. I thought I almost messed it up there, but just timing, having to block, you're on the left side, or the right side, and then you need to jump down and then grab on the left side. Right, left, you understand. And then, yeah, but then snowballs, we got those pretty down pat. One was about to spawn there if I didn't dash, or I think I supered out there actually. And yeah, the wind does claim me a few times. And that's kind of where it's just like I have to determine if you're either going to do a diagonal dash where you get some vertical lift, or in this case where the wind's pushing against you, you have to dash horizontally to get as much lateral movement as you can. And then that also applies to bubbles. There's 3 diagonals there, or the first 2 were diagonals upwards, but then the last one was a horizontal, because I don't need to go up anymore, so if you dash horizontal, you get more of your speed going that direction, so it's in theory faster. And then I think and then you have to dash up on that bubble there, or you hit the spike. And then we're going into chapter 5. This one, I don't know which one had the most improvement. It was definitely chapter 7, but 5 I'd say would be a close second, because 5 was really rough with getting lost in the labyrinth, and you might be able to see what I mean from this video with how sprawling it is, but I didn't get lost, so you probably won't see most of it. And yeah, these blocks, they move with you. In theory, you can use their momentum to give you momentum. It's that one. Yeah, a few mistakes here and there. And then in theory, I could have gone faster there, where you can do a wave dash through the spikes that we're about to fly through. So you'll see wave dash right there, and then you would be able to make it through the spikes. So that would have saved like 6 or 10 seconds. But we got the key. I didn't die, and respawning would have wasted some time. And then you can also hold down to make your velocity downward go faster than if you just do nothing and let gravity take you. It's weird that physics shouldn't really work that way. In real life, you can't really accelerate by just thinking I want to go down faster. You have to change the I guess she could be changing the shape of her body to make her fall faster. I guess that's very feasible. Oh, and then here there's a way to completely skip all that entirely. And I can't even begin to explain that. And hence I didn't do it in the run because there's a lot going on with it. Supers, 4 days going through that channel. And then, oh, okay, I just died there. Okay, here was a really brutal long section where it's just like, in theory, not hard to mess up, but these spikes going up and down here, they are super easy to not time. So I always take a decent amount of time, just make sure last part, don't mess up. And we did it. And now we go into a little sleeping cutscene. So this is where hitting confirm for your death to end the death cutscene actually really pays off. So you're in a dream, you become the monster or the eyeball that's chasing you. You gotta wake yourself up. So you're dashing like hell, and then you eventually make it there. And then this is technically a death. So you saw how fast that went. In reality, if you didn't confirm that, that's probably like a 5-second wait. So saved 4 seconds by just confirming it. Then we gotta go through all the skip cutscenes with Madeline, who's just talking to us about something. We don't care. And then we just trust that the blocks are gonna move to below our feet, because now they're like, hey, you like these now. And it's just like, I guess they're all right. Now we gotta introduce our good old friends, the eyeballs. Had a lot of fun with those guys. In this first section, they weren't too bad. Ooh, wait, yes. And then here, I always took that ledge at the top to bait him so that I could stun him. And then I think this next room, yes. Oh, no, not this. I thought there was another room where I did that. But anyway, avoid him. And you can also get the jump on this guy. I did. Oh, here, yes. So you can see it again. I baited him, and then he got stunned, and then we're gone. So he doesn't even have a chance to fight us. This one was always hit or miss if I lost the guy or if I was fighting for my life. Looks like this time. Oh no! Oh, he got me. Okay, yeah, that one was rough. So yeah, apparently this room was still rough for me. Ooh, okay, I got lucky there. Oh, I got lucky in 2 spots right there. But looks like we came back. Oh, went all around that check mark. But we're out. And then we gotta do some dashes, and we're about to get on the reverse super is what I think it was called, to avoid collecting the 2 keys here. So we just kind of avoid the seeker. And then we do some supers to gain some speed. And then we are ready to do the reverse super. Nailed it first try. And we're out. That one, after having to torture myself with the dust bunny skip, was actually really simple, because both of them were kind of the same. It's like a high complexity, high reward move. So You just know you're gonna hyper focus this one part and learn it really good. So I did it once. I was kind of used to it, so it wasn't all that bad. This room, I think I got down because you have to bait him to open that block, and then I often hesitate, or not really hesitate, but waited too long baiting him, and he caught me. Now we have to take Theo out of here because he got caught. And I guess we want to save him or something. But it was really fun getting this section down pat. Because you can, ooh, yeah, that was real close there. I should not have survived that. But yeah, it's just like, okay, I guess I paid for it there. Yeah, it gives and takes. Okay, that's enough taken. We don't need to perish again. Okay, I was saying that I got good at this, but okay, that's definitely the least clean I recall playing that. Okay, throw Theo at him. Yeah, I'm tired of him at this point. I just want to get out. Yeah, I think that's probably the worst I've played that room for a while. That usually is a lot more streamlined. Can we do it? Oh, throw Theo at him again. Just like, get out of here. That's my purse. And then this one, oh yeah, this one initially was bad, but I think I get it decently. Oh, Theo saved me there. Okay. Respect for Theo. He does save me a few times whenever it comes to the seekers trying to get me. Then we just chuck Theo there, have him get the check mark for us, and so I guess he is actually doing work for us. I do say Theo's annoying with wasting our time eating marshmallows, but I guess he really does pull his own weight. Well, I guess not really now since we're literally carrying him to the end, but and you can't actually kill the seeker in that room with that dash linked block. I did it a few times. I don't think I ever showed it in video. And then we're at the final room where I don't recall if I did it or not. Right now it looks pretty clean. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I hesitated too long. That final block messed me up. Yeah, you can see how I have to hit this switch and then that wastes a little bit of time. But luckily I didn't mess up the dash. I was on the same cycle as Theo. Didn't let the seeker catch up to me. And now we just gotta race to the end where it's a combination of throwing Theo, dashing at the same time. Then, oh, barely didn't get him, but now we got him. And we're on to the second to last chapter, where I'm interested to see how the battle and fights go, because that was one thing that I didn't really train all that good in my first training session, and I definitely paid for it, since I never actually went back to it to polish it up. But these feathers here, ultimately making the curves more efficient doesn't seem all that much time, but it's just so much more simpler just not having to get more feathers. Then we meet up with Battling and we're off to the Kevins. So there's a decent amount of this chapter that I didn't show in the video. You're gonna see the starting part here. I think it's the next room. Yes, this room, I found the fast way to use the Kevin to get up there, and it shouldn't work. I think there's a better way to do it, but this is the way that was the way that at least worked for me. Then we got some feathers, just gotta go around, hope, trust in the process. Got caught on that ledge, but we're good. Enlist the help of this Kevin, get up this little channel, get some boost with his momentum. So kind of the whole thing that I think I can do a lot better with is, I think it's key to carry your momentum between rooms. So I'm good at generating it with like the super dashes, but how do you utilize that to link rooms together? And I think that's something that I don't do the best. Like here, that was perfect, that was good. I missed that feather though, so I didn't pay off, but I took the speed of the Kevin launched myself into the room, so that saved a decent amount of time. And if I caught that feather, it would have linked together beautifully and worked. So it was all in the process of working, but didn't get there. So here's kind of an interesting section where you choose to either go top or bottom paths at different spots it diverges. So I think I went consistently like top all the way through, just so I didn't have to remember. I go top here, bottom there, top, bottom, and I didn't have faith that I'd remember which one it was meant to be. But I really struggled with that one there. But then, yeah, in theory you could drop down and done the bottom path. And I think I do a super, yeah, to catch that one. Went a little bit the wrong direction, but we corrected it. And then we are good. And then you can see that path, or that platform there where there's bottom. I still could have gone the bottom route. Top's just better in my opinion. Oh, and that was clean. Took the Kevin's speed and paid it forward. Then I think switches, yeah. This one is probably where it's better to go the bottom route, because there's just a lot of switches. And if you die, that doesn't help either. But yeah, this is just time consuming. I think the bottom route probably is faster, but everywhere else I stand by my opinion that top is better. Until somebody could easily prove me wrong who knows what they're doing. But anyway, we're almost to a fun section because there's a long feather section that, okay, I thought I was gonna die there. But there's a long feather section that, I don't know, it's just memorable for me for some reason, because feathers are kind of tricky to, here it is, tricky to pick up. Like you have to dash down there, then you have to carry your momentum, dash diagonally down to dodge those spikes, and then you're good. Because you're kind of thinking where you want to take the most efficient path, and then here, those bumpers. Okay, for a second I thought I actually survived that. I should not have had that much faith though. But yeah, trying to go fast and then not let the feather run out, and that's what it should have looked like. So I did something wrong where I either went slower or faster, or not sure what messed up there. And we're going into battle and fight. So I didn't show most of this. Ooh, but we're going to the spike room. I'm pretty sure I messed it up. But there is something kind of interesting that I do that most people probably don't. So there was the first one. I used the wall to line up, and then I go to this platform, get the checkpoint, because otherwise you spawn at the top of the room. And I'm not playing all that again. So as you can see, I messed it up twice. So clearly that was a time save by me going up there to get this save. Then we get to the water section where we just gotta go slow enough that we don't actually mess up. And we are ready to go. So now, here's another section that I think you can carry the momentum of the Kevin. I was trying to do it, so you see one vertical platform, two, and then you launch, or I was meant to launch back there, I think. But if you do it right, you can skirt through all those tiles and just instantly get to battle and fight. But it worked out, didn't lose all that much time. But here we should see a mixture of supers and I think supers are the only advancement I did here. Supers and dashes, and just trying not to get caught off guard by her attacks. And we're also just going off vibes, what feels right to what we ingrained from training. And then realistically, I probably should put more thought into dodging those blocks that were falling down, but I just kind of brute forced my way through, and it always worked. So I just kept doing it. And kind of what I learned was that if you just kind of go fast, there's less time for you to make a mistake. So the fastest route is often the best route, because then, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Then here, super. Yeah, that was a good super. Dodge that beam. Ooh, she tried to throw the energy balls, but we dodged it. Then, I don't remember where the halfway section is, but right after the cutscene that's coming up, there's a real quick, clean, like, I think it's a super dash into a jump that I do. And it's very unnecessary, doesn't save that much time, but it's just fun. I'll let you know whenever that comes up. Should be soon. And what are we looking for? Yeah, apparently it's longer than I thought. But oh, this room here. So the spike's at the end there. Realistically, I jump up to dodge that beam, when in reality, I probably could just dash over the first spike and then dash again to get her. Yeah, I think that there's barely enough time to just dash instead of having to do a safety dash upwards. Then just gotta trust that you're gonna land, and then safety dash there. I know I couldn't make that gap because I really did try to get that. Okay, cutscene is coming up. It's gonna be in the room after this one, because here it's just like she's trying to mile along and we're like, we don't care, we can still move. So here, after I skip, super, I messed it up. Super, super. Okay, so it's two chain supers together. Or no, it's not a super, because the super is whenever you down that, you do the down dash. But there I was dashing and then jumping. So whenever you dash and jump, you don't get as much horizontal speed, but you get some more vertical lift. So those ledges were a little bit taller, so I couldn't do the super dash. But for the most part, I think I always did supers where possible, because I had a key bound to it and I don't usually need to get vertical lift. In reality, if I were better, I'd do wave dashes everywhere I could, because I think that's the strategy. And I went a little bit too fast there. But if I'm not wrong, I think we should be nearing the end. Yeah, this feather section is brutal with how long it is. But once I'm here, it's kind of like you're home free, and she really can't mess you up. Broke the spikes. This is the final room. We're about to get our power up to get multiple dashes. So now we can dash 2 times in a row, and that's a complete game changer. Only for the final chapter though. Couldn't give it to you for the rest of the game. And then there, that was if you dash against a wall and then you jump, is kind of like a super but for a wall. You get a speed boost upwards. And I do that intentionally on one spot in the final chapter. I'll try to point that out. And ultimately, I think the final chapter should have a bunch of rooms that you probably haven't seen unless you've seen a lot of Celeste videos. So we're starting at the first section where it feels kind of like chapter 4, but it's more just kind of like, hey, you're going into a tough area and we're going to give you something a little bit easy to get used to your triple dash or double dash ability. And it does a good job of that. Realistically, this room or this section took me to less to get a perfect deathless run. Definitely not there because I did die. But we got it the second time. Okay, almost didn't get there. I should not have dashed there. And here we just got a wall kick, do some dashes. Should have grabbed onto the wall there. But we'll get him next time. Then, end is the next room? Yes, end is the next room. So each of these sections end with battling. Basically like, hey, I'll help you, but you have to make it to me. And psych, you gotta do it again. And then you're on to the next section as you skip it. So here is the wall super equivalent where I didn't mess it up there. Okay, so yeah, you use the wall, you jump right next to it, parallel to it, and then you jump off without wall grabbing, and you get it. I think there's some potential to try to incorporate those in places, but wave dashes and those wall jumps were things that I didn't really train or add to my repertoire, so they were kind of a last minute thing for just chapter 1 that I learned. And then, okay, yeah, I did mess it up. Yeah, here it's easy to mess up because that traffic block, you just kind of have to let it do its thing, because if you do dash, you fly too far forward and then you just mess up the cycle you're meant to be on. So not too surprised to mess that up. Then we're already at battling. So this one was really short, where, yeah. I guess in theory it isn't all that long, any of them, except for the final section. Now we're on to the chapter 2 equivalent. So here you may or may not be able to see it. So there I did that wall kick as I left this dream block to gain some speed. I don't do it here because I don't want to get launched far away from the wall. And it's kind of select places. I wouldn't do it in this room either. It's mostly just if it's a wide open area and you want to gain some ground. So here I would do it, but that spring took all my speed. Here I do it, and then I dash back to cancel it, and then there I do it also. Here I take the right route. So I actually, this route here is faster, but there's also another route. So that platform right there that I just passed, that's the route I used to take. So you had to go further into the room below, and yeah, that just wasn't the strat. I did that for the longest time, but corrected it eventually. There was a wall kick. That wasn't a wall kick because I don't think you can do them if you dash diagonally through your block. Do some dream block dashes, gonna catch battling one way or another. And we're on to another chapter 3. In this next room, all I can say, I think this is the only place that I actually timed myself. So I kind of like hesitate that first jump to avoid the dust bunny. Like I count to 1, 2, then I jump because he always caught me off. I never timed a cycle unless I intentionally hesitated. Then this long room here, I'll see if I do it fast. Okay, I did do it the fast way. Okay. Yeah, there's lots of ways to go about this, but there's some that are that one right there, that dust bunny, I do not like. The one that you had to jump down and miss. And then this room, I think I get it. Ooh. Yeah, that dust bunny definitely got my toes, but let me through. We're about to add a wave dash in this next room. This is another thing I added decently late on, where I think this was actually my last training session, because after I learned wave dashes from training chapter 1, it's like, ooh, I can apply that in the final chapter as I'm training here. Then this final room doesn't give me all that much trouble, and just watch, and I probably, okay, I did make it through. Sometimes those vertical dust bunnies catch me off guard, but looks like I made it scot-free this time. Now we're in the chapter 4 equivalent. We're gonna do some, wait, what? Okay, I got lost in the sauce there. That's not what I should have. This is what I was meant to do. You shift the screens to gain some height, then you just kind of cancel your jump to not hit the blue spikes in that room. So this is another instance of there's 2 paths to go. I was going the right path instead of the top path, and that just wasn't the strat because this one was faster. But they ultimately converge on the same point, so as long as you do them cleanly, in theory, clean is better than fast optimal route. And of course, not dust bunnies, snowballs are back. That little goalie right there is what usually caught me off guard, but I lucked out this time and missed it. Again, with these slow, I don't even know what you would call these blocks. I guess you could call them traffic blocks. You just gotta wait for them. There's 100% a faster way. This one, I'm not so sure. It's mostly like the horizontal rooms. I think there's faster ways to do them. This one, you just kind of have to wait for it. Then it's like, psych, I'm out. And then you dash out. Use the wind to your benefit. Make sure you get your horizontal versus your diagonal dashes right. The end should be coming up here. I actually did that. Okay, sometimes I messed up those blocks to get my dash restored with that diamond. Now we're at the last room. I was about to say that I don't usually mess this up, but I just had to prove myself wrong. That was the worst possible way to die. I mean, how? How do you mess up right at the beginning? No, that honestly, that could have just been my hand shaking and tapping the wrong key. I'll assume that's what it was. It's definitely not just I made a mistake. And then here you have to go the opposite direction you're meant to go so that you can skip the entire first half of this section. So you see all that stuff down there? You typically would have to play through it. And we're just like, nah, I'm not about that life. We're just kind of dipping out. It works. Don't know what happened there. That was kind of... Oh, I probably, instead of wall kicking away, I just wall kicked over top of those spikes. But here you have to assume where the blocks go with your dash ability. Avoiding... Apparently not avoiding spikes. I usually play this a little bit safe since I do... Okay, I messed that up. But we're doing all this to get the key, and there is a way to get that key without doing that bottom part, but that requires going through that spike alley with some weird wizardry stuff, and I'm not a wizard, at least not yet. And we're nearing the final, the second to last room. I don't think I ended up doing the faster strat. So in the final room, we're going to hit switches to unlock like pistons that are blocking our path. So here, when you can actually skirt underneath the bottom of them, and I was eventually able to do it, but it just felt like, am I saving that much time by going under them when just getting the switches I don't usually mess up? Then here, we're about to go. So this key here, in my opinion, you don't dash so that that block goes down and you time it correctly. Because if you were to dash, you'd have to wait for that dash link block to go down. Now we're in the final chapter with, or not chapter, but section in the final chapter with 30 checkpoints. And it kind of is in different sections. The first one's just like, okay, there's no wind, we'll make it a little bit easy, just use your stamina smartly. And it's just like, oh, you did that pretty good, now let's put the wind in the complete opposite direction of you're trying to go. It's like, thanks, I definitely didn't want to get to the end of this. So this is the first and only part where the wind is going directly down, so it's a complete weird opposite way of having to think that gravity isn't pulling me down. Now it's gravity and the wind pushing me. Getting your dash restored there. Didn't do that as cleanly as I have before. I was playing that safe. Not safe enough though, because you can just catch the bottom. Catch the bottom corner. What am I doing here? Okay. I guess final section that really got to me, because you can see how the 50 minutes is coming pretty close to elapsing. So we've got 3.5, 3:45 minutes to get to the end. So it's close. I don't have a good feel for if I'm on pace or not. 11 minutes on this chapter isn't too bad and out of the question, so we're definitely on pace, but it's so easy to get stuck somewhere, especially as we go into this blue spike area. But here, yeah, get that wall kick, go up there, restore our dash, and then kind of autopilot for a little bit. This section is a little bit tricky where you have to embrace the fatigue, where you're out of dash, you have to get enough height. Trust that you can see I'm flashing red, but we made it. Then more blue spike alleys. We make it. Gotta get these checkpoints. Feels like the way I'm doing it, it's... Ooh, I missed that one. But the way I'm doing it is slow. Feels like there should be a faster way, but maybe there isn't. Now we're going into some feather. No, feathers aren't quite yet. Oh, we're in even more of the blue spike alleys. Yeah, this one coming up at the end. I think it's checkpoint 8 was, yeah, I think it's after, yes, after this one. This section was a bit tricky. Yeah, you can see right there because you have to dash up, sideways, and hope it all works out. But now, of course, we're nearing the infamous section where things start going wrong. So I already started making mistakes here, but I think I should, yes. Running out of stamina, barely make that. They gifted me that. Oh, we have to make it through the feathers first before we get to that section. So yeah, the section I was failing on wasn't even the hard part. Like these feathers here in reality, I think are trickier with the tight corridors that you're meant to go through. But everybody has their own places they make mistakes. Now we're going into the next feather. This one's where it's kind of tricky, so you have to round the corner, maintain your dashes and stamina, and then now we're in the place where the run either lives or dies. So getting around that ledge was always contentious, and it's like, oh, I'm home free. Nope, I got too relaxed. I should not have assumed that I was in the home free zone. Messed up earlier on. We were spiraling, so time to get it done right instead of just flailing and hoping it works. And we did. Time to avoid those final deadly spikes and hope for the best. Because I don't think I actually ever messed up on a run at this part, but I also take it decently slow. And we end up getting 49-40, I believe, for the run overall. I don't know how long I hesitate on the screen. I'd probably pause on it for a while because, like, holy crap, I actually did it. It's like, you see the time right there? I did it. I don't know what screen they officially consider the end of the run or needs to be shown for it to be considered valid. So it might have been that. It could be this screen. Either way, the screen's there now. We completed it and it's done. And that's basically how my final attempt went. It was everything that could have happened in the best and worst ways possible, and now you're all on board on what happened. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.